Will this actually work? I mean, sure, I've read the articles. I've seen the headlines. AI can predict disease. AI can generate your dream partner. AI can write your eulogy. But could it really predict the moment I'd mentally fall apart? I was feeling off, not falling apart, just not okay. I was irritable, numb. My sleep was weird. I hadn't laughed in weeks. And my calendar looked like it belonged to someone who had cloned themselves 3 times. So, one night, I decided to run an experiment. I gathered every bit of personal data I could find. My Google Calendar, Apple Health data, my text messages, WhatsApp chats. I exported my online journal entries going back 6 months, and then I fed them into an AI model, not some advanced clinical software, just a fairly simple AI system that analyzes sentiment, behavior, and routine data. I wasn't expecting much, maybe some fancy graphs, a few red flags, but what I got was a sentence that chilled me to my core. Forecasted critical emotional decompensation, week of July 22nd through July 28th. I blinked. What? Apparently, it had cross-referenced multiple patterns across my digital life. My sleep had dropped 38% over the past 8 weeks. My text messages had shifted long threads with friends replaced by one-word answers like fine and cool. Emojis disappeared. Even my punctuation had changed. Fewer exclamations, more ellipses, more periods that felt like endings. In my calendar, it noted that I had worked 12 days in a row without a full day off. Some days had 7 or 8 scheduled events back to back. No time for food, no breaks. But the most eerie part, it flagged a specific journal entry. One I had written at 1:17 a.m. on a random Thursday. It said, "I'm so tired, but I can't stop. Everyone needs something from me. Even my silence is expected to be polite." That's the one it used as the turning point, the beginning of the end. The model called it emotional resilience drop below threshold, escalating stress pattern, withdrew from social touchpoints, disengaged from self-care. In human terms, I was breaking, quietly, logically, loggable, of course. July 24th. That was a random Wednesday. I had meetings that day, a full to-do list. Nothing was going to break me. But then July 24th came. I woke up late. I ignored my calendar. I skipped breakfast. I snapped at a coworker over something stupid. I canceled 2 meetings. I cried after a 15-second voicemail. I left 3 friends on read. And that night, I wrote, "I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not even sure what this is." I didn't remember the prediction until the next day. I went back to the dashboard. There it was highlighted, time-stamped, and right on time. The AI had seen what I couldn't. Let me be clear. It didn't replace a therapist. It didn't fix anything. But it noticed. It listened without bias. It connected the dots I had learned to ignore. It didn't just say, "You're burned out." It showed me how every single microbehavior, every delay in replying to a friend, every skipped lunch, every increasingly cold calendar invite was the equivalent of a warning sign. The signs were always there. We just don't pay attention to ourselves. The model wasn't complex. It used predictive analytics across categories: energy input versus output, communication tone, behavioral loops, sleep cycles, and sentiment in written reflections. It didn't need a full psychological profile, just my patterns. That's the thing no one tells you. Your breakdown doesn't usually come out of nowhere. It builds, quietly. In the texts you didn't send, in the "I'm fine" messages you forced, in the skipped showers and half-eaten meals, in the silence you normalize. And in this world where data tracks everything, we're leaving emotional footprints we don't even realize. Here's what really got to me. The machine didn't care if I looked functional. It didn't care about my job title, or how I smiled in Zoom meetings, or if I said, "I'm okay." It just looked at the numbers, the patterns, the shifts. And it told me, "You're not okay," and it was right. I wonder how many breakdowns we could prevent if someone or something told us early enough. Before the crash, before the isolation, before the hospital, before the eye didn't see it coming. Maybe the point isn't that AI is smarter than us. Maybe it's just not afraid to tell us the truth. Since then, I've been checking in differently. Not just with friends, with myself. I started tracking not just how I feel, but how I act when I'm pretending I don't. I look for those tiny clues, when I say sure instead of yes, when I use fewer emojis, when my calendar fills without time for joy, when silence starts to feel more comfortable than connection. I don't think we need AI to save us, but maybe we need it to show us what we've forgotten, to pay attention. Before we break, if this spoke to you, check your own patterns. The clues are already there.